home base for all things home related, home decor, interior and exterior design, choosing rugs, picking out paint colors, organizing, and so much more. Let's jump in today's episode with Southern Inspirations partner Kelley Designs. Good morning. I started to say good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. It's Michelle Hill with Southern Inspirations, and I'm back with Kelley of Kelley Designs for another fun episode of Design Time.
Yay! Good morning, everybody.
Hello! Yay! And today we are going to talk about creating a gallery wall. And I was just looking at our title at the top of the screen, and I'm like, I need to put Design Time up there. Maybe by now everybody knows it's called Design Time, Kelley. It's like every time I think I've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, I've missed one.
That's all right. One day we'll figure it out.
I know, right? Well, I see we've already had a couple of people join. Thank you so much. Would you please comment and let us know that you're watching and let us know what you think? We absolutely love engaging with you. So Kelley, I'm excited to learn more about gallery walls. And I was reading through your notes a little while ago, and I was like, wow, never thought about doing it that way. I didn't know there was actually names for the different ways you can arrange the pictures. And so I'm just excited. I have done a gallery wall before. I don't have one right now, but I have done one before. So I'm like, maybe I need to do one again. So I'm excited.
My favorite way to hang art. Hanging art is one of my favorite ways to update a room anyway. And so many times clients ask like what my style is and like what my signature thing is. And I'll always say, oh, every project's different because every client is different. But
Right.
As I was getting all of the information ready for this broadcast, it made me realize I do have a style. I have a signature thing that I do in almost every single project. And it's some sort of gallery wall because it's a great way to fill a large wall if it's not necessarily in the budget to go out and buy a new piece of art that's 6 feet long. It's a great way to display things together that may be too small to put by themselves somewhere else, but clustered together, it just makes even more of an impact. And it's a great way to kind of make a collage that represents the people that live there. So it's one of my favorite ways to hang art. So I guess that's my new signature look is this gallery wall.
Well, I love how, and we'll show y'all the pictures here in a second, but when I was getting the pictures ready that you sent me, I could tell it's personalized, like the one with the tennis racket and then the boat oar. So I was like, that's really cool. You can really throw in items.
It's a really neat way to display things that are kind of odd. So I love it. I can't wait to share it.
Okay, so let's jump in. All right, are you ready for me to pop up you just tell me when you want me to put what up.
I'll just start talking and we'll see where it goes.
There we go.
Like I said, this is one of my favorite way to hang art. If you're going to be hanging it over furniture, my tip would always be to hang it about 5 to 7 inches from the bottom. So like the top of the sofa, 5 to 7 inches from there. 6 is usually like the golden inch for me, but between 5 and 7, whatever works best, from the bottom of the lowest frame. So that's something to keep in mind. If it's going to be just on a big open wall and there's not going to be anything under it, you just kind of center the whole arrangement. So the center is just a little bit above eye level for you. And just use anything that makes you happy. Like it's really just a cluster of things that you like and you're not sure how to hang. So it's a really great way to get you started and give you like a really nice custom look in your house.
I've got an area in my formal living right now that has a piece of canvas art over, it's actually like a sofa table, but I've got it up against the wall instead of like right behind my sofa. And the canvas art that is there is too small. I know it is, but I've not found anything large enough that needs to go there that I really, really like. And so I think I could end up making a gallery wall, leave that art that's there, and just add to it. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, another
Yeah,
option.
starting with the larger piece and just building onto it from there is a really great way to get started. Especially since you've got the piece and you're aware that it's too small for the spot that it's in.
Right.
Just finding a couple other pieces, like I've mentioned in another episode, odd numbers always are very pleasing to the eye. So if you've got two more things to add to it or four more things to add to it, you'll have a good combination to work with.
Awesome. I may have to play around with that. And that leads us to, I know you say to leave a couple of inches in between those pieces.
Hmm. Yeah, spreading them out too far doesn't give it the collectiveness that makes it feel like it's one piece. You don't want it to feel like it's just a bunch of random things thrown on the wall. The closer they are together, the more it feels like it's one entity. So it doesn't feel too cluttered. It still gives it a nice clean look. So having that 2 to 3 inch space between each piece is a really good rule to follow while you're hanging things, whether it be something that you want to grow and it just gets bigger and it's not as symmetrical. It's just completely up to you. There's so much flexibility in doing a gallery wall.
I like that. Great tip.
So a project that I worked on recently is hanging a collage in an office. And step one of that process to make it really easy was he had, like I said, some irregular things to hang on the wall. They weren't just rectangles. So I needed to lay them out on the floor and kind of get a spatial formation of how everything should go. That usually gives you a really good starting point just to lay everything out because you can move things, make sure it's balanced and things are, heavy on one side and, balanced on the other side. So just laying it out on the floor makes it really easy to see it before you start putting nails in the wall. I think
Let's
we've got
see.
a slide.
Yeah, we do. You find the right one here.
And this was such a fun project because yes, the paddle in the middle was his, I think, grandfather's paddle,
Oh,
and it has his name on it and everything that he just always kept in his boat in case the motor died. And then the fishing pole was also his. So again, two very irregular things that you wouldn't normally hang on the wall. But the way I rigged them up, they were like the centerpiece of this whole formation. So
I
he
love
had
it.
a bunch of photos that he wanted to have framed. He just told me how many photos he had, and then I went and bought all the frames. So by the time I came to his office, I hung all of the frames up, and then he was able to see what sizes he needed and then to get the photos printed from there. So I think the step two would probably be after you've laid everything out, you take a picture of it, then you start with the middle. It's easier to start with the largest piece and work your way out. So in this case, I started with the paddle and the fishing pole, and then I work my way out. I like to keep really straight lines instead of it being too cluttered. Again, it just gives it a more polished look. So from here, I just, like I said, worked in from the middle and then built my way out. It gives it more of a cloud feel. So he can add photo frames later if he wants to grow this collection, or just switch out the photos if he's got more updated photos. It's just a really easy way to display the things that you like and things that you hold sentimental.
I love that. And I'm already thinking of what do I have in my house that's really special to me that I would like to display. So I'm going to have to think of things that would go in that picture in that living room.
He had a really cool shotgun from like the early 1900s or something, but it was too heavy for us to hang that day, so we opted for the paddle and the fishing pole.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, so then moving on, like I said, laying everything out gives you a really easy way to see how it's going to look on the wall. But again, some people get really nervous putting holes in the wall. Um, Another option would be to lay everything out and then trace it onto paper, whether it be just old gift wrap paper on the back side of it where it's white. You just cut out the rectangles and then like tape it up on the wall. Yes, just like this. Makes it very easy for you to stand back and actually get the full visual of what it'll feel like. And if you need to make any changes, you can just rearrange the tape. I use painter's tape most of the time. So just getting it all up there makes it really easy to see if there's anything you need to change before you start hammering into the wall. And then you can also leave that paper up there to hammer a nail directly into, because it is just paper and it will just pull right off around the nail. But that makes it really easy to know exactly, like you can write on it exactly where the center is. It can make it easy all around. I've done it this way a couple of times, but I've been hanging gallery walls for 10 years now, so I don't spend as much time doing all the prep work. I just put it up there. But that's a really great way if you're very uneasy about putting nails in the wall. This is a good prep work to get you started.
I'll definitely have to do that. I love that tip.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I use painter's tape for everything. So it's a really good tape that you can put on the wall. It won't pull the paint off. I'm actually using it today for a big project. When I finish my work day today, I have removed all of the popcorn from my ceiling in my kitchen and dining room. It was such a mess and long process, but today we're going to go through and actually texture it and paint it, and it's going to be nice and smooth, hopefully. But that's what I've got going on today. What do you have going on today?
Nothing that big. That sounds like a pretty large undertaking. Well, I'm glad you asked. Actually, at noon Central Standard Time, another fabulous fun episode of the Good Eating Inspiration in the Kitchen will be posted in the Good Eating group. Daniel Champagne of Decamp Eats and I made chili. This time it was a pre-record. As you know, sometimes we're live and sometimes we do pre-records. And so we each made a chili. I did one with ground beef. He did one with turkey. I've actually got a promo. I'll show y'all the fun little promo we did. And then when you finish this broadcast with us, go get you a bite to eat. Sorry if you don't have any chili made, but this will make you want the chili. So I'll show y'all that promo real quick, and then we'll come back, and Kelley is going to tell us about the 3 different types of gallery walls. So y'all hang tight. Show this promo real quick. Hey y'all, I'm Michelle Hill with Southern Inspirations.
And I'm Daniel Champagne with Decamp Eats.
And we are back for another episode of Inspiration in the Kitchen.
We'll be making chili so you can get ready for that beautiful fall weather that's coming.
So be sure and tune in to see our recipes. You can catch us on Facebook or YouTube.
Grab a bowl and pull up a chair.
We'll see you then. So we always have so much fun when we do those episodes. So for everyone watching, I invite you to jump over to that Good Eating group and watch us make chili. And gosh, I'm getting hungry because, you know,
Wow, that looks so good.
And today is National Cheeseburger Day. And so now I have this, I'm making homemade cheeseburgers for us later. And so now, Kelley, I think I want to take a big spoonful of that chili and put it on top of the cheeseburger.
Why not? That sounds great.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the 3 different types of gallery walls. And hopefully I can make it until lunchtime.
All right, so let's just jump right back in. And I'm sure there are lots of different ways that other designers hang their art. These are just the 3 different types that I normally use. And these are the best terms that I use to explain to my client what I plan on doing. My favorite is probably the Irregular Gallery. This is a really fun project that I worked on earlier this summer. These were floating frames with like the 2 panes of glass, and their daughter's art was put in there. So like the more art their kids make, the more they have to display. So it looks like an art gallery. But these are a really great way to build on. So if they have more art that they want to add to it without just replacing the ones that are already there, or take some off, like it's not symmetrical. I usually start with my 2 favorite pieces, the large pieces first, and then build from there. And it just kind of looks like a cloud or a cluster. They don't have to be perfect. This is probably a really good one for people to start on if they're not confident in their mathematical skills and having everything completely balanced. This is just a really great way to get started, and it can go lots of different directions. If you want it higher on one side, lower on the other. There's a slideshow at the end of this that will show tons of different types of irregular and symmetrical gallery walls, so there will be lots of examples to choose from if you need more inspiration. This just has more of a relaxed, natural feel. It's not as in a box as the Symmetrical, so it's, like I said, it's just really easy to work with, and it just makes the room look more casual.
I love it. I think it is absolutely adorable, and I bet she liked it as well.
Oh my gosh, the girls were so excited to see their art like in a frame on the wall, not just hanging from a magnet on the fridge.
Yeah. Wow. So cute. All right. And then we've got the Symmetrical.
Yes, the Symmetrical is a little more challenging, but it's just as easy to do if you feel comfortable thinking of all of the numbers and keeping up with the distance between all of the nail points. This is one that I would definitely lay out beforehand. Again, I start with my biggest piece in the middle and build from there. So like this one here, everything is in rows. The row in the middle, I like to keep frames that are different sizes. It just looks kind of odd if you have too many of the same size frames all together. So this is a really good way to display lots of family photos, maybe not necessarily art, but photos that you want to update every year as the kids get older and you want, more updated photos of them hanging in the hall. This is a great way to display all of those family photos because you can buy those frames that have the dividers in them, so that always, adds more of a dimension to it. You get lots of layers just in this look. It is just a more polished look. The other one, like I said, is more casual. This one is a little more formal. So it's for your fancier photos, I guess.
So my son and daughter-in-law have a Symmetrical gallery wall in their foyer. The second you walk in the door, it's on the wall to the right, and it's all of their wedding pictures. And it is gorgeous. They live in Atlanta, and so the last time I was there in August, my daughter-in-law had done it. Of course, we know who had to help doing all the measuring and placing them, and so I looked at her and I was like, I bet David loved doing all that, didn't he? She said, yeah, it took all day. I said, I bet. See, I'd have to get someone to do that for me because I don't think I have the patience to do all that. But it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Now they've got to go back and preserve my grandbaby.
All right. And there are lots of instances where clients know that they have tons of family photos and they are trying to declutter and get things off of their surfaces. So if you've got lots of like photo frames sitting on your nightstands and end tables and built-ins, and you're trying to declutter, this is a great way to bring those frames out and put them up on the wall. It may be odd to have 50 photos of, you and your family around the whole house, but all together on one wall, it makes such a statement, but it's still such an easy way to display everything.
Wow. If y'all need help with knowing how to declutter, Paige Shepherd with Shepherd Organizing can help you do that.
Definitely.
All right. And then last one is all about balance, right?
Yes. And this can be done with the Irregular and the Symmetrical. Again, starting with your largest piece first. This is a project that I worked on a couple of weeks ago. She had this really cool long rectangle piece that was see-through, like it was just the wood pieces and it had like the lattice that you look through. And I really wanted to use it. It would be really odd to use, next to something else, but in a cluster like this, it worked out really well. So I started with that in the middle and just built off from there. Like I said, I like to keep the straight lines. So what I did is I started with that large piece in the middle, the tall one, and then moved to the right of it and hung the next piece so that their bottom lines were the straight across. So it went straight across with the chair rail. And then along the other piece, to keep that balance, I hung the next piece up at the top so that the top row was the straight line across, and then built on it from there. So it still looks random, like a cluster, but there is a little bit of reason to it. That just, again, it gives it more of a polished look to have those straight lines, and you still got those 2 to 3 inch gaps that I try to keep around each piece. So it looks more purposeful rather than something that's just been thrown up there. It's just a lot easier to use the large piece and then start flanking things that are smaller on each side of it.
I really like that one. And I think I can handle that. Like if I start one in the middle, and then I like how you said, go ahead and put the bottom one to kind of line up with the bottom, get the top one lined up, and then come in and fill in. And it was like 5 pieces, 5 different pieces it looked like. So that odd number. So
That odd number.
I could probably do that one.
Yeah, it's a great way to display things. And if, like the project that I worked on at the beginning that we showed, I just went and bought all the frames. He knew that he had photos of him and his grandfather and his dad that, you know, were very sentimental to him, and he knew he wanted to hang them. He just didn't know what to go buy. So I went and purchased all of those frames, hung them up. They had the generic family photo in there that comes with it. And then he got to put those photos in there. So if you've got the idea in your head, but you're not sure how to implement it or even what to purchase, I'm happy to do that purchasing for you, and then just bring it over, get it hung up, and then you can put the photos in yourself. I'm also happy to frame everything for you if you don't want to go through the trouble. But there's just really easy ways to display the things that you love, whether it be the people that you love or just the things that you love to do.
Yeah, I love it. So there's Kelley's website. If you do want some help from her, want to have a conversation, a consultation, or have her come do the whole thing, anything in between, she can help. So her website is there at the bottom.
Yes, and if you are looking for inspiration on how to get started, here is a slideshow that we can watch. It's about a minute long, and it's, like I said, apparently I do have a signature thing. So there were lots and lots of gallery walls in my past projects to choose from. But this is just a few of them that I've worked on in the last year.
All right, here we go. Love, there was that tennis racket. I knew I'd seen that. Gosh, those are all just great. And my favorite part about the whole thing is just that personal touch of to go with the person's interest and personality and what's important to them, like we've talked about. So yeah, that's wonderful. I'm going to have to do one.
So if anyone needs help getting started, I'm happy to do a virtual consultation if someone wants to just talk about it over the phone. Or if you're comfortable having people in your house, I'm happy to come over and help you do it in person. Altogether, depending on how many pieces you've got, I hang art very quickly now. I've been doing it for a while, and it doesn't take me long to hang art. So if you've got a lot of art to hang in one room, I'm happy to come and help do it, and I can probably get it done in under an hour. So don't feel like you have to spend a fortune just to have that designer look. I can get a lot done in a short amount of time. So don't feel like you can't call.
Wow. I love it. Well, another great episode. Thank you so much for all these wonderful tips. For everyone watching, thank you for joining. We so appreciate it. We hope that you have gotten something valuable out of this today. I know that I did, and I always do. So be sure and continue to tune in every Friday. Kelley, anything else before we close out?
No, just everyone have a great weekend. Now that fall weather is coming, I'm so excited.
Yes, and so speaking of that, over these next few weeks, we're going to be sharing more and more things that you can do for getting your house ready for fall, indoors and outdoors. So continue to watch for all those great tips. All right, that's it. Everybody have a wonderful day and weekend. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.